All right, kids, let's talk bass clarinets and Altissimo registers. For your first etude for the 2021 TMEA All-State Audition Music, you've got to play above high C, which is what we call the Altissimo register. This is going to be new for some of you, and that's okay. If you're an all-the-time bass clarinet player, you may not have really seen much above the staff up to now. A lot of band music doesn't really have you playing much higher than that. However, competition is really intense for All-State, and you need to be able to play the full range of the instrument, all the way up to high F. I know, I get it, but it's okay, I'm here to help you. So I'm going to show you two strategies. I'm going to show you standard fingerings, which is what you would play if you were on a B-flat clarinet, okay? And then I'm going to show you the alternative system, which is basically you take your throat tones and squeak them on purpose. Many times, these notes, by using the cheat fingerings, will be easier to play, they will speak easier, they will be better in tune, and they will be easier to articulate, okay? So, lots to go over today. I've got my bass with me, but I also have my B flat, because sometimes it's just easier to get closer up to the camera and show you fingerings on something small, so that way you can see it better. Plus, I'm not having to really lift a really heavy instrument to get up close and show you guys. All right, so first of all, let us look at measure 32. Fourth line from the bottom. And this is the first time that you go up above the staff into the Altissimo register for clarinet, okay? First, let's talk standard fingerings, your standard system that you would play on a B-flat clarinet, okay? There is one caveat to this system that I will show you in just a moment on the bass clarinet, but first I'm going to show you on the B-flat. So, your fingerings here are for B-flat, C, C-sharp to D, E, D, B-flat, G, E. Now, if you are an all-the-time bass clarinet player, you may not know the names of these notes above the staff, okay? And that's all right, that's okay. You're going to learn them, it's going to be fine. Let me turn my stand around for a second and I'll show you which notes are which, that way you have an idea, okay? All right, so here we are down here, okay? This note is B flat. You know that the top line of the staff is F. What you should always do is when you find something that you don't know, start from what you do know and climb the ladder until you get to your note and you know exactly what it is. Let's see if I can get a little closer. I don't know if I can. We'll give it our best shot. All right, so we know for a fact that the top line is F, right? So if we crawl up, one space above that is G. First ledger line is A. B sits on top of that. According to our key signature, we're going to have a B flat, okay? We're going to go up one step to C, add the sharp sign and go up a half step. Space above that second ledger line is D. Third ledger line is E. Back to D, back to B flat that you had over here. Jump to G, don't go to A, go to G. And then notes that you should know, E, F, F sharp, G, and B flat. Okay, all right, let's come back here and let's talk about standard fingerings for these notes. Okay, so on B-flat clarinet, here's what we have. Yeah, scooch up real close. For B-flat, we have thumb and register together, okay? On all of these notes, they're all thumb and register, so let's just already know that that's gonna be there. I'm not gonna turn this around again. So thumb and register, B-flat, 1, 2, and your bottom side key. Okay, this guy down here. Feels like your low E flat without the register key on. So we're gonna have B flat to C, which is thumb and register only. Then we're going to go to C sharp. C sharp is our first altissimo note. We're gonna skip finger 1, put down 2, 3. Some people call this 4, 5, or 1, 2 again. And that's it. We're not gonna put our pinky down, not on C sharp, never on C sharp. It sounds awful, makes it super sharp. So again, we've gone from thumb C to 2, 3, 1, 2, or 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever you want to call it, okay? The next note is D. D, we're going to lift our middle finger and add your top pinky down here. The next note is E. To do that, you're just going to lift your first finger. Go back to D. Jump down to B flat, thumb 1, 2 side, G, and then notes that you know, E, F, chromatic F sharp, G, and pinch B flat. Okay, so that's the standard fingerings. Now let's talk about how that's going to differ just a little bit for bass clarinet. I know on my instrument, which is a buffet, I have to do things a little differently. Selmer's or other brands, they may do something different as well. Those of you out there, my friends that play Selmer's, like maybe Chastine, if what I instruct on this buffet is different from what you would do on a Selmer, can you please comment about that down at the bottom in the comment section so that we can get information out to kiddos who may not have the same equipment as me. All right, so it starts off the same. Thumb register 1, 2, and side for B flat, okay? Then we have C. C sharp is the same. First finger is up, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, now for D, on my instrument, on Altissimo, when you go above C sharp, you see how this first finger, it's like split, it's like there's 2 different spots, okay? On an oboe, we call this a half hole, right? What I have to do is, when I move to D and I lift up middle and put down this finger, and E and D, when I play those 3 notes, I have to have my finger down here. I have to push this down. I can't cover or else it won't play. I have to open up the half hole. So your D, E, D is going to have your half hole right here, okay? And when you go back to B flat, you need to slide that finger back up to cover that itty bitty hole. So to review, we have thumb and register 1, 2, and side B flat. So B flat, C, C sharp, D, E, D, B flat, G, E, F, F sharp, G, pinch B flat, okay? So that's standard fingerings, that's option 1, okay? Option 2 is also going to be dependent on your instrument. I know that on my instrument, these fingerings work. I believe on Selmer's they work too. Other instruments that I've helped kiddos with, sometimes they're not made to play in the Altissimo register, so these fingerings may not work for you. In the end, just try them out, keep trying. And if they don't work, whether it's a standard fingering or whether it's this alternative fingering, the problem, if they don't play, it may not be you. It just may be that your instrument wasn't built to play these notes, and you may have to talk to your director about getting an instrument that is a little better suited for this. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you this on my B flat because again, it's smaller and I can get closer and show you what to do in the same measure, okay? So we start off with B flat, same one that you already know. Thumb C, which you already know. Okay, now from here, we're going to take the fingerings that you would use on your chromatic throat tones, which are F sharp, G, G sharp, A, B flat, and then if you trill, you would add this side key right here. We're going to take that pattern, but we're going to play that pattern with the register key down. What? Yes, it works. It does work. On B flat clarinet, it doesn't work well. That's why we don't teach you how to do this. But on bass clarinets, it's actually pretty awesome. They usually speak better for you. They're usually much better in tune, and they're also much more friendly when it comes to articulating or tonguing when you're up high. Okay, so on this set of fingerings, what you're going to do is this. You're going to have your B flat, your C, thumb, okay? For C sharp, you're going to take your thumb off, but leave the register key down. Yes, I said that. Register key and first finger. Thumb and 1. This is high C sharp. To make this D, lift up your first finger and play register key only. That is high D, all right? The next note you're going to have is E natural. Now, here's where things get a little wonky. On my instrument, playing register key and A flat or G sharp key, whatever you want to call it, is very sharp, and it is not a good choice at all unless I put my right hand down with it. Then it sounds wonderful. You may have to do this, you may not have to do this. Either way, if you're playing in front of a tuner, you'll know, all right? If it's very sharp, put your right hand down, or a combination of 1, 2, 3, or all of your hand. Just experiment and see what you can put down that will either make the note go crazy or make it go in tune. Okay, so keeping that in mind. Okay, so you're going to have B flat, C, C sharp, D, high E is your A flat key, plus maybe your right hand, back to D thumb, B flat to G, and then E, F, F sharp, G, B flat, which you already know, okay? So I'm gonna try to show that to you. Hopefully I don't squeak because my bass has been sitting here for a little bit. My reed may have gotten a little bit dry. I don't know, we'll see. Okay, hopefully this will work. All right, here we go. So, standard fingerings. So if you'll notice, you could probably see me adjusting a lot when I played, especially when I went from the high E to the D to the B flat. One thing that you need to know about playing low clarinets is that on B flat clarinet, you get your embouchure set and you may voice a little bit with your tongue, but not very much. You basically just put the stick between your lips and you go for it. All right, on low clarinets, you gotta break some rules and you have to adjust. The voicing is much more pronounced, okay? So your tongue may be up high, your tongue may be down low. I find that as I go higher, I need to lower my tongue. So this is something else you need to experiment with. Okay, so now if you noticed, I was really struggling to get those notes to speak really well for me. Because when you use the standard fingerings on bass clarinets, there's a lot of what we call back pressure. It pushes back, at least on my instrument, it pushes back a lot. That's why I normally choose to use the cheat fingerings, okay? Let's see how it goes this time with those. Did you notice that spoke easier for me? Did you notice that there wasn't squawks? Did you notice that I wasn't really having to do a lot of adjustment with my jaw? That's because those really are some great, great, great fingerings to use, okay? Good. So now, keeping that in mind, let's go to the very last measure, last two measures of this etude. You have an F scale, a full Altissimo, F scale, all the way to the top. Contra players, you can stop watching. You guys get a pass. You get to play an octave down right here. And that's not because they don't think you're good enough. It's because most contrabass clarinets just will not do that. It's hard to make an instrument that big that will follow all the laws of physics that will allow you to be able to play that high. So at this point, just do what you can, okay? All right, so now standard fingerings. Let's talk standard fingerings again. So this is just an F scale. Again, back to my B flat so that you can see. So this F scale just goes F, G, A, B flat, C. You already know those. Then you have three notes on the Altissimo. We're gonna go to D, which is thumb register 1, 2, and top finger. If you're on the bass clarinet, this is where you use that half hole, remember? Okay, D. To make it E, you lift this finger. To turn it into high F, which is the very last note, you touch that little spoon key right down here. That is your highest note. So F, G, A, B flat, C, D with the half hole, E, F, okay? It's fun, but you're gonna squeak a lot and it's gonna be okay. And the thing is, it's gonna happen because you're having to learn how to adjust. So don't freak out, okay? So again, watching this half hole, okay? You notice how I'm having to open up and really drop my jaw? We don't do that on B flat. You gotta break rules being a bass player, okay? All right, now for your cheat fingerings, F, G, A, B flat, C, you already know that. Next is D. Remember, we learned this one a second ago. That's register key only. Then you have E, which you learned earlier. That's A flat key plus maybe this down here. I don't know. On this one, I wouldn't recommend it because you're gonna be going so fast, we're not gonna notice how yucky that is. Because you're going to want to be able to come up here, okay, and use the side keys for your high F. Fun times. All right, let's see how this goes. So your high F is just following, going up to the very top. So thumb only for D, okay? E natural, is going to be A flat key. It's going to sound a little wonky, but I think it'll be okay right here. And then you just add your side B flat key, not the top, but the second from the top. Add that to turn it into high F, okay? And when you get to that high F, it's fortissimo, and you take advantage of that and you just scream that high F out in all of your bass clarinet glory, okay? All right, good. So that's Altissimo. Guys, it's a big deal, right? This is a lot. It's a lot, but I have faith in you and I think that you can do it, okay? If you try this, you try these high notes and they don't happen, know that it's okay. And know that you need to break clarinet rules. You might have to drop your jaw and think more, oh, like you've got a blow pop inside of your mouth, and you keep your mouth closed with that blow pop inside of there. I learned that in a bassoon class one time. Or you could think about dropping your tongue, maybe not dropping your jaw, or maybe a little bit of both, okay? But you have to be able to be flexible and you have to be willing to move your embouchure because there are some changes. Now, having said that, full disclosure, there's a lot of low clarinet players out there who are going to disagree with me on this and for them, it's just like B flat clarinet and you set your embouchure and you go. And for them, that very well may be the case. And it may be because different mouthpieces require different techniques. And so you just need to know what you have. You need to experiment and you need to try it out. Now, if you do all of these things and you still can't get these notes to speak, if you get that undertone, that grunt, okay, it may be the instrument. Your instrument may not be completely where it needs to be. Okay, it may be out of adjustment. You may have a few screws that are too loose or too tight that are making certain keys open up too much or close before they're supposed to. So you need to make sure that your instrument's in good working order. If it is not, and if it's, take it to your local repair person. If it's something that's a little bit more in depth and you need like an overhaul, which I wouldn't recommend doing right now, but maybe in the summer if your school's instrument needs an overhaul, and if you need some suggestions, please contact me. I can point you in the right direction. A lot of times your local repair person will be able to do some really great stuff. Sometimes it requires a specialist. And I can point you to those specialists if you need them, okay? If your instrument is old, if you're in one of the band halls that's, you're celebrating your 50th anniversary, you may have some of those instruments that they bought 50 years ago. Back then, bass clarinets, they weren't asked to play this high, and those instruments really weren't made to play in the Altissimo register. So the instrument may be the problem. It could be you, but it could be the instrument as well. So that's something you need to keep in mind, okay? I've had the most luck on buffets and Selmers, but there's been some great Yamahas and Bundys out there that will get the job done as well, okay? So in the end, if you have questions, if you have concerns, you can contact me. I'm going to put my email, GraggClarinetStudio@gmail.com. I'm going to put that down in the comments so that you see where it is. And be patient and be kind to yourself and to others, and just practice and be awesome. Keep being amazing. Keep being awesome. Love you guys a ton. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.